What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and today we're going to be having a big vote coming up, and this is going to be determining the fate of the stopgap funding for the debt ceiling. And now, the debt ceiling increase, when this comes back around in December, it's going to be tied to stimulus and infrastructure. And yes, this is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, take a look, you guys. This is all going to be going down today. The House is to vote to extend the debt ceiling through early December, and we're hearing this is very likely going to pass. But as I mentioned, now it's going to be on Democrats to make sure they get this done in time. Here's another one. U.S. House expected to pass a bill to hike the debt ceiling and avert a U.S. default, but this is only a temporary fix. House returns briefly for a debt ceiling vote, awaiting real movement on Joe Biden's agenda. And we're going to be taking a look at that one in more detail. And also, you guys, yesterday, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi released a Dear Colleagues letter that's going to be breaking down a little bit of what we can expect to see from Congress here as they focus on long-term increasing the debt ceiling and passing through that stimulus and infrastructure package. And you guys, they got to get something done here right away or else. And now this is all tied together to that debt ceiling. So they got to get something done. They got to get progressives and moderates to agree somehow. But take a look, you guys. We're going to be looking at this in more detail. Dear colleagues, on an audience with Pope Francis and our work to build back better. So this is all going to be happening today, October 12th, 2021. And I'm going to dive right in and get you caught up on the latest on the details of what we can expect to see. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, don't forget to take a moment to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on all this stuff that's happening right now with Congress, stimulus, unemployment, anything having to do with our money, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell and turn on those notifications, because right now news is coming out left and right. And normally I upload 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but right now, as soon as it comes out, I'm uploading. So turn on notifications. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions. And with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. Oh, and one last thing. If you like the decor in the background, link in the description below. Use it. You can get 30% off store-wide sale for success hunters, and use promo code SteveRam for an additional 10% off. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest as of today, October 12th, 2021. All right, you guys, so first up, link in the description below to this Politico's Congress minutes that just came out 54 minutes ago from the time of this recording, and it says, the House returns briefly for debt ceiling vote and awaits real movement on Biden's agenda. And here's what's driving the congressional calendar on Tuesday, October 12th, today, 2021. And it says, what we're watching in the House of Representatives, the chamber returns to pass the Senate's short-term lift of the debt ceiling. The real debt fight will happen in December, but today's actions will make the punt official, as they're saying they're just kicking this down the road for an additional 2 months. Through a procedural trick, lawmakers won't actually vote on the bill. Their vote to pass the rule will deem that the bill has passed. That means no standalone vote, but it won't stop the GOP attacks ads. So you guys, they're just kicking the can down the road. They're going to make this official. This was the agreement that took place between Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. And those of you that follow me here on the channel saw that vote come about, that deal. And I shared with you the video footage that when it passed, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer came out and rebuked Republicans right after they helped them and said that it was their fault that they were even in that position and that they should avoid doing that in the future, that it should be bipartisan agreements. Well, needless to say, Republicans weren't happy, and so were fellow Democrats. And now we're hearing Republicans have warned President Joe Biden and Democrats that now they've got 2 months. They better get it done because Republicans will not help them again. Now, reading on, it says, break from the normal. House votes are expected between 5 and 6 p.m. today. Frequent House watchers know first voters on fly-in days are usually at 6:30 p.m. So this is going to be going down this evening. Now, take a look at this, you guys. Presser to watch. Fresh off a trip from Europe, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi holds a press conference at 11:30 a.m. today. So today, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is going to be having a press conference addressing some of these pressing issues. In a Dear Colleagues letter, she said difficult decisions must be made very soon, but that her members want to do fewer things well and that help families and address climate change. Lawmakers are out this week in the Senate, but in the House, this is all going to be going down. Now, you guys, let's take a look at that Dear Colleagues letter that came out from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Now, it says, Dear colleagues, on audience with Pope Francis and our work to build back better. Now, I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm just going to jump to the point that is going to be primarily talking about stimulus, infrastructure, and the debt ceiling. And jumping down, it says, in all of the meetings in Italy and Portugal, our counterparts were happy that America is back, as President Biden declared. During the visit, discussions about the Build Back Better reconciliation legislation continued late into the nights. In order to pass both the Build Back Better Act, which is AKA the $3.5 trillion reconciliation stimulus bill, and the bipartisan infrastructure bill on time, which is the $1.2 trillion for roads, bridges, and highways, it is essential that difficult decisions must be made very soon. And yes, they got to get this done right away. Currently, their timeline for this is October 31st. But if it gets pushed beyond that, they have until December 3rd before we hit the debt ceiling. And now the debt ceiling is going to be tied to the stimulus reconciliation, which is tied to the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. So all of this is tied together, and they got to get this done right away. Now, reading on, it says, overwhelmingly, the guidance that I am receiving from members is to do fewer things well, so that way we can still have the transformative impacts on families in the workplace and responsibly address the climate crisis. So 2 things, a Build Back Better agenda for jobs, and number 2, the planet for the children. Now, at the same time, we must lift the debt ceiling and hope that we can have a unanimous Democratic vote and perhaps a bipartisan vote to do so. So she's saying Democrats need to unite and get this pushed through, or maybe Republicans will get on board, but I wouldn't count on it. Now, as I ask the Pope to pray for us, may we reflect upon the opportunity that we have to meet the needs of the American people and our responsibility to do so. Thank you for your leadership for the people. Sincerely, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. So there you have it, you guys, asking for them to unify, get it together, pass through stimulus, infrastructure, and the debt ceiling, and do so before December, and asking for the Pope to pray for us. And I would ask my viewing audience to do the same. Please pray for our leaders, pray for our economy, pray for those in need, that hopefully we can get all this done and we can avoid a lot of these financial economic catastrophes that could be on its way if Congress doesn't get something done here soon. Well, you guys, so there you have it on everything that's going to be going down today. Now, as they wrap up this debt ceiling vote, they're going to be now focusing their attention on the infrastructure and the stimulus bill and tying it all into a more permanent debt ceiling solution. And I will be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel, as a lot of people are asking me, is there going to be a 4th federal level stimulus check? Is there going to be an unemployment extension? Well, if you missed yesterday's video, be sure to check it out as I give you an update on that, as we heard that September jobs report was so bad that there's a lot of members of Congress that are now saying we need to revisit those provisions that are currently not in the $3.5 trillion stimulus bill, because we might need to add those back in. Now, as you know, right now, there's talks about reducing the price of the overall bill. Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are saying take items out, cut down the price. But now we've got members saying that was so bad last month, we might need to add more things in. Now, you guys, whatever unfolds here on the channel, I'll be sure to keep you up to date so that way you know what's included, what's happening, and I will keep you up to speed. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the Ram fam, the viewing community. I will keep you up to date on everything that's going on. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. And if you like the decor in the background, use the link in the description below and get 30% off store-wide sale for Success Hunters, and use promo code SteveRam for an additional 10% off as well. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.